Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. As always, this is George ONYIBE, and still on that path to self-realization. Without wasting much of our time this morning, I want us to look at a topic I titled, we cannot deviate, we cannot allow ourselves to deviate from the real issues. Because in the absence of light, darkness will prevail. There are things that bombard at night. People must respond to those things, or else the whole of humanity will be gone when you wake up the next morning. What am I trying to tell you this morning? There are a lot of issues, agenda, theories, conspiracies that are out there. Majority of the people are not aware. They wake up in the morning, they see the next thing, they do that part, deviating from the original purpose and plan for their life. Our people must not allow themselves to deviate, moving out from the original course. Because in the absence of light, darkness will prevail. The world, as you know today, abhorred vacuum. It does not create space for vacuum. When you move out, something else replaces. In the absence of light, darkness will prevail. That does not mean that darkness conquered the light. That means that light became inactive. It gave dominance to darkness. It's applicable in every area of life. When you fail to work hard, you get laziness. When you fail to educate yourself, you become uneducated. When you switch off your light, you have darkness. It's just the same way. It's applicable to every area of our life. And gradually, there are a lot of things that are going on as we speak. Not just to Nigerians, but let's take that as a case study. The next generation must know the truth. We owe them this. And each time you come on my platform, understand, this is not about monetizing platform. I'm not here to beg you money. I'm not here to look for your money. But of course, we need the money to be able to drive this message home. We are not here for the popularity. We are not here to sell ego, to sell personality. After all, we have none. We are here to make sure that no criminal will set the next generation of our people. We are here to certainly make sure that all these criminals are exposed. We are here to appeal to the conscience of the next generation. Maybe this good life we long for, maybe this beautiful life we pray for will eventually be theirs. Because somewhere along the line, somebody will have to pay the price. And in the absence of those who will pay this price, and then there is no hope for them. And so I want to point out to certain scenarios about things that are happening in current day Nigeria. And the next generation should not allow themselves to be misled. There have been Oduduwa agitation. There have been Boko Haram agitation. There have been Biafra agitation. And from the history of Nigeria from her birth, people from different regions has come out in large numbers to resist the system, to register their displeasure. And one of the undocumented issues regarding this trend is the Nigerian Biafran war. And listen to me very carefully as Igbo man. I do not think Dim Chukwuemeka Dimegwu is an illiterate. Because the last time I checked, if Nigerian had 20 highest ranking military officers, I can assure you that Dim Chukwuemeka Dimegwu was more learned than all of them, more educated than all of them. So I don't think it's daft. And when you think about the man who suggested that name Biafra, Franco Pigo, who is an educated man, these people are not, they are well read. Let me use it. And now, Ojukwu made the move. Something led to it. Boko Haram are killing in the north. Something led to it. Ken Saru will have to die for the Bill of Rights. Millions of Niger Delta youth have died for resource control. Sunday Igboho under Oduduwa nation, a lot of things are happening. Now, why I say we should not deviate, I will come to that. Because the new generation of Nigeria or Biafra, if that be what God wants for us, must understand. The new Nigerians, the next generation of Nigerians must know this truth. Let's just focus on Nigeria for now. Something went wrong somewhere. This is what gave birth to all this agitation in the first place. You have political imbalance. You have corruption. Visionless and greedy leaders who by the barrel of the gun bend the people to their will. You have laziness being rewarded as a result of nepotism or tribalism. You have a banker working as a medical doctor, and then you have a medical doctor working as a mechanical engineer. It's confusing. Let's not derail from the real issue. When Nnamdi Kanu came out recently and talked about Biafra, those of us who knew this truth thought it was a way to change the system for the good of everybody. We didn't know he was a common criminal, picking pockets. That is what he is, nothing more. You see, most of you who are on your way to destruction, you don't like to hear me criticize that armed robber, but thunder will fire all of you. Because what the seed of this Nnamdi and the Kanu have sown will certainly consume all of you who fail to repent. Let me not digress. That is why we came out in the first place. Because looking at a country that have the highest number of medical doctors in America today, go and check statistics. More than 65% of medical doctors in America are Nigerians. Go and look at global index of unusual individuals. Out of 100% of unusual individuals, people with great talent who are from Africa are Nigerians. What a country blessed with human and natural resources. What a country blessed with innovation, ability to invent technologies. What a people. What else could any Homo sapien ask from the Creator? What else could any human ask from God that He has not given to us? And where are we today? Where are we? Just ordinary electricity we don't have. Ordinary electricity. We have fuel, petroleum products that can meet the need of the global community. And yet, you see, we are buying it at a very expensive rate. And for more than 20 years now, we've been talking about subsidy, no subsidy, and you don't see that as the failure of the leaders. And so when they dash you, I know where I'm going to, but I don't expect everybody to understand. Watch all these people who have been ruling Nigeria. All of them went to school on scholarship. What happened to scholarship? And they come out every day and tell you, oh, we don't have money. Nigeria is broke. Nigeria is broke. How can Nigerian break or broke have the quantity of oil they are stealing and selling legally and illegally from within Nigerian territory? Has it dried up? Have it reduced? or there are a bunch of criminals who are behind the scene, promoting anarchy, instability, distracting the next generation, and then make a fool of all of them as they have made fool of my own generation. And now make no mistake about that. You may own a building, you may own cars, able to feed 10 times in a day. You went to school, life seems okay for you. But what you have failed to realize is that under normal circumstances, your life would have been better than this. And if your life can be better than this, why settle for less? I say, in the absence of light, darkness will prevail, because I'm taking you somewhere. So as a result of this criminality in the corridor, in the pavilion of power, those who know the truth, those who accept this truth, decide to run on the offense. So tomorrow you hear somebody say it's a Boko Haram, do not be fast to judge. Tomorrow you see somebody say it's a Biafran, do not be fast to judge. Tomorrow you see somebody say it's Oduduwa nation, do not be fast to judge. And tomorrow somebody say I am a Nigerian, do not be fast to judge. You must be able to scrutinize the whole process and the mindset behind what they are doing. And then if there is anything to change, if there is anything to modify, you'll be able to make that change without harming anybody. And so if we at this stage decide to keep quiet and watch a lot of hopelessness going on social media, you never know who will be deceived. And since it could be my children, it could be your children, your relatives, I think we all owe them that responsibility to tell them the truth always. That is why I said, in the absence of darkness, light prevails. When light refuses to surface, darkness dominates. And when the people of truth, men and women of goodwill, progressive-minded individuals, refuse to stand up and identify falsehood, deception, there is no hope for the next generation. We go online on a regular basis. We study where they manipulate the mind of the next generation and of course our people in totality. Because if you think television, if you think social media platform is just for entertainment, it's for, comedy and prank, and then you need to think again. This is where life are being molded again. This is where life are being re-engineered. This is where life are changed, either for good or for bad. And if we leave our space vacuum, others will take it over from there and then infuse their own will and plan on us. This will not happen. We have 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria, may I remind you. Under these 3 ethnic major groups, you have over 5,000 different ethnic nationality. And you have over 20 to 50,000 languages inside this Nigeria. But our founding father agreed that is Wazobia. Wazobia. And I'm not in dispute of that. But if this issue were to be addressed, I will tell you where I belong. But that is not an issue. They agreed. And so far, it's worked well for us. Until there are a lot of instability, lack of transparency, leaders who are not ready to redeem accountability, fraud everywhere. That is what gave birth here. And it has not stopped. Now look at these 3 ethnic groups or majority ethnic groups that are the image of Nigeria. You have the Yorubas. Their founding father has set their platform for them. And they are well guided. When I'm talking at this instance, I am not saying how it affects all of them. I am looking at how it affects them. Sunday Igboho was there fighting for Oduduwa nation. Some Yoruba came out to condemn what he was doing, but on a very low key. Because I want to believe that if Nigeria divide today, the Oduduwa nation, believe me, will have a very diplomatic, calculated, and a serene society. I'm sure of that. Because they love themselves. They take care of themselves. I'm not looking at the the Hausa nation, per se. Because the last time I checked, with how they have been able to manage Nigeria, even though every Hausa child refused to work in the next 50 years, what they benefit from Nigeria here, they will not have to suffer anymore. So each time you say, oh, fuel scarcity, fuel scarcity. Anyway, it's as a result of the information at your disposal. Let me not digress. But if you come to the Igbo extraction of one Nigeria, you see hopelessness. You see very useless animals everywhere. You see people who are greedy, selfish, who will sell their child just to be comfortable, just to boost their ego. We almost lost hope in our people. But then along the line, we discovered that we are all responsible for what is happening. Now, go on social media. Follow all your fans. You will see they are not saying anything to protect your interest. They are just send me star, follow me, like me, punch me. They are deceiving you. If we keep quiet before you realize, another generation will suffer for it. Let's go back to the issue of Biafra, which I started with. Don't let anybody tell you there is nothing like Biafra. There is Biafra. Biafra has always been there. The Portuguese were the one who cited this in their map in the early centuries. The colonial masters, they all know. But then, if you look at that topographic map, that topographic region of the ancient Biafra, you will see that I am sure part of Nigeria is part of that ancient Biafra. The Oduduwa nation belonged to the ancient Benin Empire. Go and look at the ancient map of the world, where you have less than 12 empires in the continent of Africa, if I'm not mistaken. I still remember some of the name of this ancient empire in Africa. You have the Benin Empire, where the Oduduwa nation are supposed to be. That is why you have Yoruba in Cotonou. That's Benin Republic of today. And then the Hausas of one Nigeria today, you have them in Zamfara. Go and Google ancient map of Africa. You will see Zamfara Empire. To tell you that Hausa people you think don't have sense are very calculative. They went into archive and discovered that their region were referred to as Zamfara. They created Zamfara state. And from Zamfara state, they promoted Islam to the highest order. You think they were stupid? Most of you think the same way they were creating Osun state, creating Ebonyi state, creating Delta and Edo state, that they were just creating for creating sake. When you hear about Zamfara, it is a reminder to the Hausa Fulani where they are coming from. And when you hear the Yoruba people talking about the Benin Empire, do not dispute them, because their father know who they are, where they are coming from. This is the only time you can know where you are going from. And then an Igbo child who know the truth, so that he will be accepted by politicians, then they give him money. He will come and do swagger, will be deceiving. He's like, nothing like Biafra, nothing. No, the ideology behind the recent day Biafra, most especially that of Nnamdi Kanu, is all about criminality. Nigerians should come out and tell us the truth about our origin, where we are coming from, so we can be able to know where we are and then know how to navigate our way forward and stop deceiving the next generation. There is something known as Biafra. But the truth is that the geographical map of the ancient Biafra is more than Nigeria. Cameroon region is supposed to be part of that ancient Biafra. We have the Zulu Empire, among others. Nobody disputes that these empires don't exist. We are the only one. Igbo people, oh, Yoruba is not disputing it. Oh. It's Igbo people, oh, and you want to be relevant. And they come on radio, oh, you see, nothing like a Biafra, nothing like... I said it does exist. It did exist. But the criminality behind the recent ideology is where we begin to have issue. And so somebody will come and say, oh, Biafra people, they are evil. No, Biafrans are not evil. Biafrans are not criminals. But we have criminals inside Biafra. Biafra may not be officially accepted by the global community. That does not make it illegit. We need to know, how did the name Biafra emerge on the map? Franco Pigo, being an educationist who read ancient history, understand that there was a bite of Biafra, which was removed by Nigeria. How did it come there? Why was it removed after the war? Now, don't let them deceive you. Do not derail. In the absence of light, darkness will prevail. Why am I saying this now? That I'm here to fight for Biafra? No, I am here to fight for the emancipation and the restoration of the brain of ordinary man who fall under the umbrella of Bia, because Ndi Zo are doing their own well. Ndi Wa are doing their own well. Ndi Bia, they are just running mad everywhere. They becoming the instrument of their undoing. And most of you who are supposed to be enlightened, you don't know. Agree with them that Nnamdi Kanu Biafra was fraud. Agree with them that Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu of the blessed memory Biafra, something was not properly fixed there. A lot of lapses were there. Agree with them. Agree with them that yes, if Nigeria is reviewed, we don't need Biafra. Agree with them. Right from IPOB under Nnamdi Kanu the criminal, I have always pointed out one single truth, that a restructured Nigeria is as good as Biafra. Because I'm not fighting for a name. I'm not fighting for a land that doesn't belong to me. Whether I'm in Nigeria, whether I'm in Biafra, whether I'm in Kosovo, whether I'm in Costa Rica, whether I'm anywhere, if it's my ancestral land, it's my ancestral land. It's not what we are debating here. We are trying to create a platform where our life can be better than what it is today. And so if Nigerians can come out and tell you, okay, let's do this way. It's a very long, heavy task, I must tell you. It can take decades to be able to achieve and get to that expected end. But at least a journey of 100 kilometers starts with a step. And so the people must start. I perfectly believe in a unique, redefined one Nigeria. But I disassociate myself from criminality and hopelessness in the name of one Nigeria. And so what they do is Nigerian, those robbing us in Nigeria and as Nigeria, are paying some hopeless Igbo people to distract you so that you deviate. If you follow social media now, you'll be ashamed to say you are a Biafra. My dear, don't be afraid to say you are a Biafra. You are. You can't run away from it. But at the same time, let them know your stand. We are Nigerian. We have alternative. If we cannot have a Nigerian that is transparent, where fairness, justice, and equity prevail, and then let's go our separate ways. That is what gave birth to the issue of Biafra. So the people they are paying to tell you there's nothing like Biafra, they are your enemy. It doesn't matter how much they garnish, they are your enemy. Because that hiding Biafra will hide a lot of truth that our people will never know in the nearest future. You see the Caucasians, you see the Europeans, you see the Arabians, you see all these surviving ethnic nationality who have been there since the creation of this world to this very moment. They do not compromise with their history. And it is what their ancestors suffered before now that actually influence the decision they take today, so they can never be poor again. If you know the suffering Indian went through, if you know the suffering Indian went through, I grew up as a child in my parents' home. And in my grandmother's house, I have an uncle who stays there. This my uncle does not see. He is blind. But he's always dressed on military uniform. This should be in the late 70s. I was still very small. He's a military man. His name is Sami Sani. I understand and later discovered that somebody bear that name after him. And I remember one day I was asking my grandmother, what happened to my uncle's eyes? He told me they were part of the Nigerian military that were shifted to India to help create stability in India. Will you hear the history of Daughters of Charity? What made them firm? The level of poverty they saw in India is unbelievable. India, though, did not succeed in getting her empires together, but at least the name India was preserved. Bangladesh left out of India among other countries. But look at the Indian today, as you know. A lot of countries like China, Japan, America, Russia are telling you their world power. Watch countries like Israel and India. They don't tell you their world power. But watch them closely. They look like they are the kidney of all this supposedly world power. They learned their lesson. How would they have learned if their history is taken from them? Ask somebody now, what is the original name of Africa? You begin to hear cock and bull story. We don't know. The Roman Empire did their job well. During the time of the Macedonians, the Grecians, the Persians, during the eras of the Rome, when they conquer a people, they destroy their history. Remove it completely from them so that nobody will know where they come from. That is how we got here. Beware of anybody telling you, nothing like Biafra. No. When they tell you how Biafra has turned to tools for criminals, please listen. Nigeria know there is Biafra. If not, they will not recognize that there was a war between Nigeria and Biafra. In the absence of light, darkness will prevail. Do not deviate from the real path. But then you ask me, do you think this Biafra is the solution now? My brother, Biafra is not the solution. Biafra is not the solution. Because the mind of the people are not ready. You can't see Yoruba person talking against Biafra. You can't see, what do you call it, Hausa person talking against Biafra. They act against Biafra. They don't talk against Biafra. But we, the Biafrans, we are talking and acting against the Biafra. And so they are now, oh, yeah, nothing like Biafra. Don't believe anybody tell you Biafra. You know, there is Biafra. Just that I think it is time we build a better Nigeria by taking the necessary step, which is reviewing Nigeria. Number two, you go on social media lately. You begin to see the issue of Asare Dokubo. Don't let them distract you. I have said it in my last broadcast. But until they stop, I will not stop. Until Nnamdi Kanu and his useless criminal gang stop insulting people and blackmailing people, I will not leave them alone. Until idiots don't change their mind, I will not leave them alone. Mercy sorono, kanodabe mechuku adalu ale, njuhi. Now on social media, they tell you Asare is a slave master. They now show you receipt of how they sell Igbo people. They now show you this one. Have you heard Igbo appear in history? How many times? Have you heard the Shekiri appeared in history? How many times? Have you heard the Gala appear in history? How many times? Have you heard the Idoma appear in history? How many times? Have you heard Ijebu appear in history? Have you heard about Gwari appear in history? Except somebody from that clan do something extraordinary, they emerge. What am I saying? When they say they are selling Igbo people, it doesn't mean they are selling somebody from Enugu, Anambra, Imo, and Ebonyi alone. When they sell a German, it's Igbo man. All of you are in Yamene. If you like, you know. If you don't like, don't know. But now we are at this point where we need to analyze the issue. Igbos are on the social media talking down Asare. Now, get it very clear. I'm not defending Asare. But in the access of light, darkness will prevail. When we keep quiet, lie will become true. That is why I'm doing that. I have issue with many people because they call me and say, don't talk about ONYIBE again. Don't talk about ONYIBE again. Some of them even deliberately cut my funding. They were supporting me with data to be able to come on air and enlighten our people. When I said I will be talking of ONYIBE, they stopped giving me data. Now, if you have personal problem with ONYIBE, will I begin to lie against ONYIBE that is a thief when it's not a thief? I have a problem as an individual. I told the DNA of ancestors who are pathfinder. You can't hide secret from me. If you near me in less than 30 minutes, I will diagnose you spiritually and physically. It's a gift. Let me digress. When I noticed this gift, I paid the price. I misbehave. I malfunction until I went to meet a more mature spiritual father and say, look at my problem. Because once you are coming to me, the Spirit of God in me tells me, this man is coming to strike you. Just watch him. My brother, I will watch you and you will strike me. I get to a stage, I can't be receiving the strike. Most especially when I know he's coming. So once the Spirit of God tell me, look, this man is a criminal, I want to strike you. My brother, before you even think about it, I don't give you 30 slap. Better one. And then I realize you have not even done that. I now know it's called for maturity. So with every truth we know about people, it affects the way we relate to people. That is why when I gather with people to discuss about the progress of our people, I get angry with certain people and disapprove with every suggestion they make. Not because I hate them, because I see that the intent behind their actions are evil. They are criminals, just that they are yet to manifest. Why am I saying that? All this, Asari do this, Asari do that, Asari do that. They are trying to create more enemy for Igbo. And now get the point, Igbo. Each time I say the Igbos, if I am saying in a negative way, I'm saying to Nnamdi Kanu tout and misguided Mugus. But of course, we are good people. Don't forget, I am ONYIBE. And ONYIBE come from Owerri, Owerri, in Agbo, Eka North, Delta State. So I don't know how I'm going to deny myself. But when you are armed robber, you are hopeless ritualist, you are idiot, my brother, I will disassociate from you. That is how we are here. Now let's continue. You don't know what they want to achieve. You don't know the truth they want to prevent from you. Allow them, let them be talking, be monitoring them. When Nnamdi Kanu turned rogue, when many people started sponsoring Nnamdi Kanu, that I don't want to mention their name. When Nnamdi Kanu started traveling from country to country, raking all our money together. When Nnamdi Kanu shut down Radio Biafra and opened, what do you call it? Community radio. IPOB community radio. I knew everything he was doing. And I knew that ONYIBE did not know anything. And I called ONYIBE because I have warned Nnamdi Kanu to stop it. I think Obidi played audio of how he was advising Nnamdi Kanu, because some of you will say, why did you people not say? We thought we can save this our brother. We thought we can save that lunatic called Nnamdi Kanu. We go and listen to Obidi, one of his last broadcasts, when he played the audio, how he was begging Nnamdi Kanu to disassociate himself from NSAS. This is Nigerian project. Allow Nigerian to do their project. Our project is to create either a better Nigeria or let us divide. Let's focus on let's be objectively driven. He became enemy. I have tried to talk to Nnamdi Kanu. I have begged Nnamdi Kanu. I'm waiting for the idiot to come out. So that all of you supporting him useless, all of you will be ashamed. Then they went behind and started thinking how to sink me, how to destroy me, how to get the best out of me. And one day, Uche Mefo called me and said, Mazi ONYIBE, I don't understand what is going on. Every problem, ONYIBE, every problem, ONYIBE. Can you please tell me what is going on? And I was glad. And I said, Mazi Mefo, all these things are set up. Chiko Doziem, Azayoba, Choko the former, another idiot who called themselves DOS. My presence threatens them now. Nnamdi Kanu, where he nailed himself, where I will not leave him, is where he take me to Aruchukwu. Nnamdi Kanu could not rest again. He couldn't rest again. Have you been to Aruchukwu? Have you? But he know I'm a reverend. He forced me there. But he didn't force me because I obliged. No sacrifice too big to pay for our people. I went there. I violated my conscience. I did that. I know how my wife felt about it. I prayed to God and sought his wisdom. And I made peace with my creator. And after my Aruchukwu, they destroyed the Aruchukwu and they created Igwe Kana. The Igwe Kana is the new Aruchukwu. Do you know who is the high priest of Igwe Kana? Nnamdi Kanu's sister that is in Nigerian police. Tinubu, when you want to deal with the issue of Biafra, remember that Nnamdi Kanu's sister in the Nigerian police is our high priest of Ebino Babe. Thunder will go fire on and I never know. And it's a Nigerian police. And you are in Nigeria. Let's leave that. And I told Mazi Mefo, all these things are just set up. We were talking about the issue of Madam Shosha then. And I said, they were saying in Anambra that I'm the one causing problem, the Madam Shosha, I'm the one that, many lies. We were in the DOS meeting, and the issue of Madam Shosha came up that very day. And somebody reported that Madam Shosha took knife and was chasing volunteers up and down. And all these things were to drag it to me. I asked them in that meeting, I said, Madam Shosha is an elderly woman, older than most of your mother. I wonder how a woman at maybe 70 or thereabout will take a knife and begin to chase a young man of 30. I said, you people review this matter. I told you, I said, look at your people, they are stage managing us. I gave him hint to catch Nnamdi Kanu. And when he carried this question and began to ask Nnamdi Kanu, why this thing happening? Why this thing happening? Nnamdi Kanu will lie. Uche Mefo will catch him. Nnamdi Kanu will lie. Uche Mefo will catch him. The DOS has a meeting that since Uche Mefo is supporting a stranger, that they will deal with Uche Mefo as a stranger. That is where this problem started. That is how Uche Mefo now becomes saboteur. That I am a stranger in Biafra agitation. As African rep, I am a stranger. It implied that I was only being used by Nnamdi Kanu. They said in their confide that since Uche Mefo is supporting George ONYIBE, a stranger from Yoruba land, George ONYIBE, a stranger from Arugongo, Sokoto State, they will treat him like a stranger. I'm now Fulani headsman. But Uche Mefo have known the truth he will not compromise with. And so he said in one of his broadcasts in that period that I will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. And I love him. It's not easy for him. He's still going through carrying that cross. But at the moment, when I want to say I am not Igbo, When I want to come against everything like that, I will say that as far as this issue is concerned, I am. They are good people who make us to understand that, yes, we still have genuine people. You know, when Elijah cried and said, oh, they've killed all your prophets, I'm the only one remaining, he said, no, there are so many of them. Why am I saying this? Playing in the Kanu video, audio, when he was saying, Asari took 20 million from me. I was in the prison, and Asari collected 20 million from me. Ask yourself a question. Where has Nnamdi Kanu worked in his life? Was he being paid when he was in Kuje prison? Or could he have released our 20 million and give to Asari without our knowledge? Because I'm a member of the DOS. I can't remember when we unanimously agreed that such amount of money should be given to Asari. And I remember Asari made the brokers to antagonize or explain that issue of 20 million. Today, they are telling you, oh, Asari is not Igbo, oh, Asari is a bloated. What does Asari have to do with unknown gunmen? What does Asari have to do with the men in the bush? What does Asari have to do with Nnamdi Kanu estate in Kenya? What does Asari have to do with the monthly due we have paid in Kulu, Germany, under the custody of Nnenanya and Nnamdi Kanu? What has Asari gone to do with Akowara? Most of you have forgotten Akowara. Akowara was the leader of one of those armed group, or should I say armed group of volunteer, who told Nnamdi Kanu, stop killing our people. Nnamdi Kanu disappear Akowara till today. Onwukwe Nwanze and Ruby Matthew, who stood up to challenge Nnamdi Kanu as transparent people, they are still on that run today. That is not your problem. Asari is your problem. Asari is under the umbrella of war. So what am I saying? The next generation, don't buy into this lie. Don't buy into this lie. That is the live stream of IPOB under Nnamdi Kanu. As far as they have lie, they flourish. In the absence of lie, nothing to offer. In the absence of light, darkness prevail. We must grow to that level where we should question every institution, where we should question every activities. We may not be vocally questioning, but inwardly meditate, have reflection on those issues. Because in the absence of light, darkness will prevail. Nigeria is on another path now today. And then you have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the seat. So far, I don't expect him to do any miracle considering where Nigeria is. But my advice for him is simple. Let the spirit of one Nigeria you profess lead you. If spirit of Oduduwa lead you, or conspiracy one Nigeria, kingdom fall and kingdom rise. But then I'm a bit relaxed because it's not part of the cabal. He may have been a governor. It's not part of the cabal. But we know who the cabals are. They are using all of us. So they can hide Nigerian money in foreign banks. So they can use Nigerian police and army that are supposed to protect us to destroy us. So that they can make me and you not to go to school so that our children will become illiterate to be ruled by their children. They will make sure they make you very hungry so they feed you and thereby take away your will. All these strategies are in process already. And they are gaining ground. But if you do not fight back, they will take your life from you. And how do you fight back? By guns and bullets? You remember in those days we used to tell you that we're not going to shoot one bullet to give you Biafra. That was when reasonable men were thinking meticulously. There's a man I have high regard for. He have not loose guided since I know him. Ike na nwa no n'enyi. Ike na nwa no n'enyi. Very principled man. I remember wonderful people who have brain. These people who have sense. It was just engaging Nigeria in a simple way. One rogue, criminal. We don't even know who his father and his mother. Colonial master product. And you are there deceiving you. Now pay attention very well. As far as Nigeria is concerned, it requires review. There are people calling for constitutional review. There are people calling for constitutional amendment. There are people asking for the constitution to be pulled down. These things came into existence as a result of somebody being oppressed. You have this cry coming from different angles because of a lot of issues regarding political imbalance. It should be looked into. It's not recovering. Nigerians cannot kill us to recover the money they stole and put in foreign account. If Nigeria want to recover us, all our refinery are Brazilian technology. Nigeria should call Soviet Union or Brazil or any country who spearhandedly built that refinery for us and sign a deal with them. And if they say 50-50 for 50 years, and I'm sure 50-50 for 50 years, they would have taken their loan and then they go out. And our people will have free fuel. Is Dubai richer than Nigeria? Does Dubai have more intelligent people than Nigeria? Does Dubai have more natural resources or human capacity than Nigeria? In fact, does Dubai know Allah more than Nigerians? Rubbish. Dubai, do they have more Muslims than Nigeria? So if it's Allah that is helping them, the Allah in Nigeria, can't he help us? Do they have Jesus more than us? But look at packages they have for their citizens. They won't even take us as slaves. And so, how do you address a country with such amounts of wealth and yet live in abject poverty? How do you address it? How do we fight back? These are the procedures. Let's look at, first of all, America. America was not baited out of milk and honey. People fought for it. People set up movement. People made effort. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Roosevelt, and many of them. When you hear about the Declaration of Independence, it's almost single-handedly written by one man. But because there was nothing to fight there, every colony involved endorsed it. These were common men, ordinary men. They had foresight. If you are a Nigerian, don't think you are too small. Don't think you are not educated. Don't think you are children of nobody. Don't think you cannot do it. All you need is the support of the people. Most of you will not know that Nnamdi Kanu didn't go to school. But he was almost a god because the people supported him. He was almost a god. Have you wondered, has he worked in his life? Has he worked anywhere in his life? Was he able to finish secondary school? Yahoo University? Have you heard him say, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a this? Have you heard him? In as much as it's not our style. But sometimes you mistakenly tell them, I studied this. You must raise. Don't check your standard. Be sincere to our people. And when they give their support to you, you will know the true meaning of power belongs to the people. But what are you standing up for? You want to stand up against injustice when you are unfair? It won't work. You want to fight corruption when you are corruption impersonified? It will not work. Because everything in life have a role to play. Money cannot buy you happiness. Your house cannot give you sleep. Money will not give you appetite. They all have unique role to play. Come forward. Form a movement. Appeal to the government of the day. Get their attention and make them to look at the plight of the people. Peradventure, Nigeria may be able to have a good president who will listen to the people before our time is up. And then this problem will be gone forever. Remember, Nigeria was not always that horrible. People did it. Seed of discord was sowed in. And look at what we are reaping today. You must address issue politely, politically, strategically, from the real point of angle. And when the government refuses to listen, though we have people like Labour who are supposed to speak for the masses, but I wonder who they are laboring for. But in the absence of these government parasitators, we can save ourselves. And so, good, simple men create the idea of American today. Let us take a look at Europe. Take example from France, even Great Britain. Most of them beheaded their monarch. When what you are doing is unacceptable, it went to the extent that the people came and beheaded their monarch. Can you talk with the King of England now? He's held in high esteem. But have you studied what they did to King James? The one who gave us King James version of the Bible? When the leaders are dishonorable, the people are removed from under oath to obey them. What am I trying to say? These people understood why certain things should not be tolerated to ensure their survival. And then you move to South Africa. Nelson Mandela, as a young lawyer, behaved like an activist. We used to have human rights activists in Nigeria, people like Gani Fahimi and the rest of that. I wonder where they have gone to. He moved a group of individuals. He's not trying to kill South Africa, destroy South Africa. He just needed apartheid the apartheid must end. What is apartheid? What did they move for? They want to be economically and politically in control of their country, their ancestral land. Believe me, as we speak today, South Africa is not economically in control of their country, but at least politically they are in control. It's a way to go. He mobilized the South African people, and more than 80% of them were with him. Look at what this Malema, Julius Malema, or what do they call him, is doing. It may look like he's a racist. It may look like he's saying bad things. But you see, he's touching the heart of his people. And you see anything that man will do in the nearest future, the whole of the masses will be behind him. The president of South Africa should be afraid of him. Or should I say respect him? Because the world already are afraid of them. And you see, men fear that which they cannot understand. Instead of them to support him, they want to destroy him. A movement must start. The religious body are supposed to be doing that. Do you hear any of them saying anything about what is happening in Nigeria? Because they've all lost their position. Not the Christian, not the pagan, not the Muslim. They've lost it all. Why? Because they are now man pleaser. I wish they remember the role played by Art Desmond Tutu. How many of our leaders are coming out to talk as government? What is really going on? I woke up this morning and I was asking my business associate. I said, I still don't understand how people are making ends meet. Because I went to do something like this and they charged me 400 naira. But then, before fuel was 270 naira, they were still collecting 400. And they cannot attend to me without fuel. How are they making it? You see, they have to diminish. And they don't want to be out of business. And Nigeria is indirectly robbing them to raise money that the previous leader stole. They have to rob us to recover the money they stole. Who is saying it? Because when you say it, your church investment, they will seize it. Your mosque investment, they will seize it. Your Babalawo or native doctor, Dibia Shiran, they will seize it. Who is actually speaking for the people? But rather, we have allowed ourselves, we the common people have allowed ourselves to be used. Some will come and say, take this 10,000, I want you to attack these people, attack this. Is that the end of life? What I say today will have either negative or positive influence on my children in time to come. Those who created Nigeria, do they know it is going to become like this? Watch all the people who create this Nigeria you are seeing. None of them is close to the corridor of power today. That is why we all have to be careful. Now, the new generation of Nigeria, whether you are from Wa, whether you are from Zoo, whether you are from Bia, don't allow propaganda. Don't allow those lies and deceit. Don't allow them to lead you and your own children into oblivion. Yes, my father had issue with the Yoruba man. Yes, Yoruba man had issue with the Hausa man. It will always be there. But then, they've lived their life and they're gone. And I've not offended any Yoruba person. And the Yoruba person has not offended any Hausa person. Why can we tow on what happened then and continue? But then, mutual understanding requires that everybody respect each other's space. And then realizing that what is good for the goose is good for the ganja. If this is not the direction the next generation are thinking from, get ready, you are going to suffer more than we are suffering. And your father has suffered. You will see a Nigerian, you will have no right. In the absence of light, darkness prevails. But I believe you can form a movement that will be able to get the attention of the leader of the day and begin to consider what you are saying. We prayed for Nigeria. We had a vision of Nigeria. And if you are among these power hijackers in Nigeria, this is what God says. Nobody will break this Nigeria. But what will break this Nigeria is when the minority will rise. The way I say, oh, Igbos are marginalized, Yorubas are marginalized, Hausas are marginalized. My brother, begin to think about how to prevent a Gala man from saying he's marginalized. Bini man from saying he's marginalized. Urubu man, Abraka man, Efiki man, Ibibio man, Anange man, Zakembia man. Begin to pray. They don't cry. Because at that end, in that instance, the problem that will consume all of us, from the military to the legislature to the executive, everybody, let's not get there. The end is not good. And if we can prevent that, there should be a body that is addressing, a neutral body, a complete civil society movement. With time, you will gather that momentum that will enable you go to Aso Rock and seek audience. If Nigerians, for a reason that our president threatened them, that they cannot allow a viable seaport in our land, why can't we kuku begin beg them so that we get the seaport first? Why can't we begin to ring it every day? What exactly do we want? The movement is simple. Good life for the next generation. Not just because they are Nigerian, but because they are black. Not just because they are black, but because they are human. And in the absence of any of us in the global community, and then all of us are gone. Now, I am pointing your attention to few things. Anybody that tells you Biafra is fraud, Biafra, no, Nnamdi Kanu is fraud. Biafra is not fraud. Nigerian cannot be unified. We cannot live harmoniously until our elders go into discussion and sort themselves out. The issue of Biafra is still there. It makes Yoruba uncomfortable. It makes Hausa to be afraid. And then it makes the Igbo man to withdraw. If these issues are not settled out, no amount of Biafra, no. Nigeria was not always there now. Imagine if these people who agreed were Nigeria, from Royal Niger Company to Nigeria to Nigeria, maybe to change tomorrow. Imagine those people begin to fight. What was our name before we were Nigeria? Those people say, no, Nigeria is fake. Nigeria don't exist. What does it mean? Who are Nigeria? That is exactly how those people look like. They want to take the history from you. They don't want you to know how the problem started. And behind, they have those who are now looking for who they trying to tell you who to blame. Oh, Asari is the problem. Oh, governors are the problem. Our governors are evil. Is that they are telling you Asari is the problem now? Or they say, no, it's your political leader. Oh, it's your political elite. I remember there was a time Governor Onyesuwike, former Governor Onyesuwike of Rivers State, was the chairman of Obiakpo local government. I think he sees salary of the whole local government for almost 4 years. The president of the day did not arrest him, did not challenge him. The federal government paid for the salary of those people, issued to be reviewed. Most people did not hear about it. Most people did not know about it. He was not condemned from it. Even after that, he still became a governor, which means somewhere along the line, they were able to reach compromise. Issues were sorted out. Because you are confronting somebody with bitter truth does not mean that you are acting on hatred. Because there is a difference between rebuke and entreat. The Bible says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat the elder. In that instance, the Bible knows that entreat is a software or a soft form of rebuke. Because so you want to rebuke, you say, what's wrong with you? What's your problem? You can't talk to elder like that. But rather, use a soft word. Sir, what is really happening? I don't understand what you're doing again. So if we, by moral or ethics behavior, don't want to rebuke the government of the day, we can entreat them. And certainly a knowledgeable elder, when you entreat such an elder, has no other option than to listen to you. Please, as you follow people on social media, and you hear what they are doing and what they are saying, don't let them cash off on your emotion. If they tamper with your brain, you may not be able to recover for a very long time. Look at about 10 years of lying and propaganda by Nnamdi Kanu. You know how many people that have died? You know how many people that have lost their mind? You know the next damage it would have caused if people like us did not stand on the line? Very unfortunate. So, the journey is a renewal process. Honestly, if Nigerian leaders today can review Nigeria, stop sharing the Igbo man. Because you are afraid of Igbo man. That is the only explanation of everything I'm saying. But Igbo man don't have sense. Let's do what Martin Luther King did and what he saw. He saw political imbalance, oppression of the black, marginalization of the black or African Americans as they choose to call them. And he dreamt of a day when the American child will no longer be rated by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. It took many years. America did pass through that process. And when Barack Obama, a black ass like me, black bumble like me, became the president of America, that day we knew that Martin Luther's death was not in vain. And of course, we understand there are still some areas that black Americans' life need to be reviewed. Their medical health care system, their economical future in America, all those things need to be reviewed. But at least Americans have proved that a black ass like me can rule America. It's a way to go. Yoruba, stop being afraid. Hausa, stop being afraid. Igbo, stop being afraid and stop withdrawing. In the absence of light, darkness will prevail. We've waded wholly into the issue. No big deal there. It is something too representative from each region can sit down, dialogue. And of course, when some people have agenda to cover, why wouldn't they avoid constitutional conference? Why are they running away from national confab? But let's save the next generation. At this moment, I'll bring this broadcast to an end. But let me see if there is any Nanda Kanu follow on my platform, because I need to help them, deliver them. And after today, I will screen them and delete most of them, because they are idiots. They don't have sense. Let me see what they are saying here before I round up. And then from where I can see, I see King of the Game. He say every electricity bill paid in the southeast belong to Emeka Ihediora, Emeka Ofo, and then some other name. Yes, King of the Game, what you said is correct. If you notice, I would have excluded Yoruba and Hausa from my discussion. But Nigerians will not know my position. Even as an Igbo man, a Kaman extraction of Igbo that I am, I'm ashamed of my people. I am not here to tell you that Nigeria is taking it or doing that. I know this game. King of the Game, let me ask you. We have known Niger Delta militant in the South who supposedly are blowing pipeline and stealing oil, doing bunkering. But why are we not hearing about oil pipeline vandals, militant in the Southeast? Because our political leader in the Southeast, they are the ones that are doing the bunkering. No, when you come to South, you hear people say, oh, there's still oil pipeline, oil theft. They blame it on supposedly militant. Where are the Southeast militant? Or don't you know in your state, or Hajebema, they have oil well militant? The one IPOB wanted to rig into because they couldn't succeed. They now went to set fire there and burn over 100 Igbos. But if I begin to say that, it won't help us. We should be able to have a place where we address our people. Thank you for bringing that up. I went to a Anyoma defense meeting or Anyoma People's Forum meeting. The meeting was chaired by most of our monarchs and elites. And then we were talking about the endangered areas in Anyoma land. And then the very community where one of the community was mentioned, Ibuku. We have oil wells in Ibuku, but you cannot access the oil well in Ibuku, Delta State, through Delta State. You must follow Anambra. We petitioned the federal government through one of the Surveyor General who happened to be from Anyoma. Why is it that the oil well in our community cannot be accessed in our community, but must be accessed from Anambra? The man said, no, I'm going to go sort on myself. This is the name of the man sitting on that contract. So, when Delta states are poor, Anambra man will come and tell me we are poor. Whereas Anambra man is the one collecting all the allocation coming from SPDC, Shell, coming from NNPC. Every benefit that is supposed to go to that village, Anambra man is taking it. And tomorrow you say, may go, thunder will go fire many people, no. And somebody from Anambra will see me as his enemy. But we are not shouting about it. When we shout it now, they say, oh, Anyama said they no be Igbo, Anyama hate Igbo. I understand that, my brother. But most of our people don't know. They don't know where to ask questions. That is why Nnamdi Kanu was able to cash out on them. Nnamdi Kanu will come out and tell you, outside is marginalizing us, Yoruba is marginalizing. What do we know? We say it's true. Because if you see this community where you have oil well, the level of poverty there, no single rich man, at least one person from the community should eat the money. Let others be poor. That would have been better. And then one person, my brother, is taking the money. When SPDC want to go and assess the oil well, they create road from Obaru to that very bush. When there is a 1 kilometer distance from the well, they rather spend billion to create a route to that oil 5,000 kilometers. You think our people are happy about it? But we have not said anything. The day we rise up now against Anambra State, they say, Igbo don't love themselves. These are corrupt criminals. If we don't point them out, we will be paying for their atrocities. We know all those things. Let me see another person again. No, Nnamdi Kanu idiot here. All those people putting Findi. They don't know Nnamdi Kanu is a shareholder in Findi. Useless set of criminals. Where are they? They will go back and begin to report this page. But I'll build another page where we can be migrating to. No other person. I have, who is this? He said, easy, pardon me, sometime because of some reason. Easy, what did he say? He said, why you dey hide your face? Ezefula, understand, this question has come over and over. And anybody asking this question at this time is either ignorant, naive, or is a bingo. You have taken Mkpurumiri. I was African rep for almost 3 years under IPOB. And I've walked from house to house, even to Sambisa Forest. I'm hiding. My brother, I'm not here to sell personality. And I have not been instructed by my creator because I serve God. When he said, go and do selfie like Nnamdi Kanu, I shall. For now, I'm not doing selfie yet, okay? So I'm not hiding. I've been arrested by DSS. They know me. They know how to get me. I've been arrested by the police. Almost all your politicians in the West, I know all of them. I've had meeting with them one-on-one. The only people I know I didn't hold meeting with is leaders of the North. But the Yoruba and the Igbo, all their leader, all their elite, I've had meeting with all. I'm not hiding now. Every arrangement, when we asked for Nnamdi Kanu to be released, that idiot, I was in the meeting in Enugu now. It was geared by the people in Obodo. Why are you hiding? Who am I hiding for Nnamdi Kanu? Did you not see my picture? I went to Nnamdi Kanu parents' burial. I signed a condolence document. Ask that criminal called Darlington to show you my pictures now. I'm not hiding. It's just that I change. I change personality. So don't worry. When it's time, you will see me. Maybe before I used to use image. Now you are seeing my at least my shaded, ugly face. Atoro. Then no bingo here. Who is this one? The same Nnamdi Kanu bingo. Later on, I will review you and delete you. You see, they are not here anymore because there is nothing to say. No more lie. But while we are trying to help our people, let's not push them into a deeper ditch. That is why I'm pointing out certain things. Don't destroy your people because you want to be relevant. Don't lie because you want to preserve the truth. Let everything go through the natural process. Now they cannot lie to defend the truth. Now the truth, the lie have expired. The truth have surfaced. Everybody know we have been deceived. And so don't lie to your people. One of the greatest advantage or good I know I have done for my children is I tell them the truth. I look stupid when I was doing that because they are all grown up. 3 of my sons are taller than me, bigger than me. You won't even believe they are my children. I told them the truth. And most parents are not comfortable with it. But I have to do that. So they get sense. Because my father didn't hide any truth from me. He told me it's applicable to my mother. Look at all of you giving birth to wayward daughter. If you do not expose them to the truth, your gate man will pregnant them or your manager. You tell them the truth. Tell them how men function. Tell them how women function. Tell them what to expect. Tell them all that glitters is not good. Tell them what they need to know. And you see, when they are ready to step out there, they will survive all things. Let's tell our people the truth. They may not like us for it. But when they reach the junction, when they need that formula to survive, they will know we have told them the truth. When the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, so that when he's old, he can't depart from it. I never understood it. It was useless trying to talk to little children. Moral. What do they know? Believe me, they know more than you can imagine. I remember when I first left my parents' home. I left alone as a young man to fend for myself. I run into a lot of challenges. One of them, let me share with you for the benefit of my audience who are not married. My father has called me many times and draw his ear and say, my son, anytime you want to marry, you notice that the woman you want to marry, if you shout for her, are you stupid? She start crying. If you harass her, she start crying. If you commemorate her, she start crying. Anything you do, she start crying. He say, my son, pack your load and run out of that house. You are going to die before your time. But it didn't make sense then. He said, but your wife should be able to stand up to you with respect. I tell you what is your problem? He said, I don't understand, honey. Will you sit down? But what is bringing up this? Your wife should be able to stand up to you. Your wife should be able to approach you. Your wife should be able to something, not crying. He said, because that cry does kill men. Many of our brothers have died, not because they were poisoned. Now their wife cried, they killed them. Now you get the point. So when you are marrying your wife, they cry. Warn them. We tolerate no tears. That is why we need to tell our people the truth. It may not help them today, but it will certainly help them tomorrow. There is no much of the Kanu bingo. I want to thank all of you who joined this program. We'll continue from there. We're hoping for a better picture for ourselves because we're still alive. And of course, the next generation. Those who are ruling Nigeria, you need to do something. It's a better Nigeria. We have what it takes to be better than Dubai. So why delay? Rob us, impoverish us, destroy us before we can see that imaginable one beautiful Nigeria. You people are not sincere. I pray the people around Tinubu will help Tinubu to do the right thing and not deceive him. Because people around us actually have a great influence to play. So let's continue with what we are doing. We have a long way to go. We have a lot of things to do. We need to mobilize ourselves. We cannot sit behind and say we're not doing anything. But we are not mobilizing ourselves to say, give us Biafra, give us Nigeria, give us... No. To secure a better future for the next generation. To make the people in leadership to understand that they're supposed to redeem accountability to us. Kirone. We've spent how many years rewarding mediocrity, rewarding hopelessness, rewarding betrayers, rewarding people who feed on our misery. Why won't they flourish in our land? I sign off from here. I remain George ONYIBE. Do have a nice day.